Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it is me again, your brother, your friend, and today is another day. Uh, like I said, in the morning, I will be coming out later in the evening today to dwell on a very, very important topic. Please, as you are just coming, give us some likes and share this video if possible to your friends on Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere. So as you're coming, please just press your likes button, please, guys. Press your likes button. Just press your likes button and share this video. So let's share this word of freedom as we continually educating our people on the best way they can go for us to actually get the Nigeria of our dream. Please, guys, as you're coming, just be putting up likes for us. Look, we're going to have these likes, and let's see how we can go today. Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To actually get the Nigeria of our dream. Please, guys, as you're coming, just be putting up likes for us. Look, we're going to have these likes, and so just please let me see your sharing. Harry, good evening, sir. How are you? Please, as you're coming, just share the video, please. Those of you on Facebook, please just share. If you're on YouTube, please also share the video. Give us some likes, some thumbs up as we begin the show today. Yeah, thank you, guys. I think today is really nice. I'm seeing a lot of shares and a lot of likes. Oh, nice. Thank you, guys. Dude, like I said, the more you share, Mr. Arigo, how you know a Biafra man? I mean, I'm not a Biafra man. I'm a United Nigerian guy, a United Southern Nigerian guy. Don't worry. You're going to get the thing clearly, how we can move forward. Because you see, I wrote Biafra there. That's nice, anyways. It's going to bring a lot of people in today. I believe in United Southern Nigeria. That is my mission. So I'm a Biafran, I'm an Oduduwa, and also I'm a Niger Delta. Okay. Please, as you're just coming, give us a like, press the button, the sharing button. So as we continue with this show. Okay, guys, yesterday, while we're trying to educate our people on how we can actually move together as a certain Nigeria to achieve our aims and objectives as a people. And many people did not actually buy the idea that I put up anyways. Many people kicking against that idea because of their beliefs. And I decided to dig down again to see what actually we need to be dealing with in a time like this. as a unifying factor that I've put myself to be, and as a negotiator, like my mommy called me yesterday, the chief negotiator, and I have to go deep down to say, okay, what are the things that actually took place during the Accord, Aburi Accord in Ghana? What are the things that they agreed on? Where was the mistake made? Was it in the side of the federal government or in the side of the Biafra state? That has actually, caused this long, big division in the south. Okay. I remember today, I think this Northern Elders Forum, they were in Enugu State, and the same Ango Abdullahi was giving the Igbo warning, strain warning. I think I did a video this morning on my early morning dose to try to explain some of the things that is happening there. So having said that, that is why I decided to come up this evening with the Aburi Accord. So I want us to listen carefully as I decide to go through the official record of the minute of the meeting of Nigerian military leaders held at Aburi, Ghana on January 4th and 5th, 1967. The official minute is what I want to put before the public domain so that we should understand what actually transpired on that day. As you all know, many of us are not really aware of what happened. We are only working on the story that we had. So I had to go deep down and get the official minute of that meeting. You will bear with me. I'm going to read it through. Where I need to analyze, I'm going to do some little analysis in that area. Okay, guys? So as you're coming in, Facebook, YouTube, please press the share button. Let's invite some people to the show. Official record of the minute of the meeting of Nigerian military leaders held at Aburi, Ghana on January 4th and 5th, 1967. The opening. The chairman of the Ghana National Liberation Council, Lieutenant General J.A. Ankara, declaring the meeting opened, welcomed the visitors to Ghana, and expressed delight that Ghana had been agreed upon by the Nigerian military leaders as a venue for this crucial meeting. The reason why the meeting was taken to Ghana was because of the distrust of the July 1966 coup that was organized by the Igbos, by the Hausas. The then leader of the eastern region, Lieutenant Colonel Ojumegu Ojukwu, refused to accept any other place within the Nigerian territory because of fear of him being killed by the soldiers. Because then there was no respect for authority, there was no respect for ranks among the soldiers after the second coup of 1966. So, in order for there to be peace, a neutral ground was now agreed upon. That was where Ghana became the next country who was also like a big brother to Nigeria, because Ghana had independence, I think, 3 years before Nigeria independence. So Ghana was now chosen to be the place whereby the meeting can be held and issues bordering on them. Good evening, sir. can be done. Okay, guys, that's why Ghana came into play. He considered the whole matter to be the domestic affair of Nigeria, and as such, he refrained from dwelling on any specific points. The general, however, expressed the belief that the Nigerian problem were not such that cannot be easily resolved through patience, understanding, and mutual respect. Hear this now. This is what Lieutenant General J.A. Ankara said. So the general, however, expressed the belief that the Nigerian problem were not such that cannot be easily resolved through 1, patience, 2, understanding, and 3, mutual respect. And this is what I'll be clamoring for. Mutual respect, understanding, and patience. To listen to the end. One thing I've understood about the Southern Nigeria is this: we are quick to speak. We are slow to listen. The Southern Nigerians are quick to speak and slow to listen. Okay? Throughout history, it said there has been no failure of military statesmen, and the eyes of the whole world were on the Nigerian army. He advised that soldiers are purely statesmen and not politicians, and the Nigerian military leaders owe it as a responsibility to the 56 million people of Nigeria to successfully carry through their task of national building. Concluding, the general urged the Nigerian leaders to bury their differences, forget the past, and discuss their matter frankly but patiently. This is what I've just told my brothers in the East. Discuss your matter frankly, but be patient. Be patient to also absorb the heat that will be coming with your agitation. Okay? I am the convener or the co-convener of the United Southern Nigeria Forum. We normally have weekly Zoom meetings every Tuesdays and Thursdays. In that meeting, we have different categories of people who normally comes around there, either to give us a lecture as a guest, or even the normal member that comes in, to contribute their own quota based on what they think can make Nigeria a better place. One thing I've understood in the last 2 months that we have been running that very particular program is patience. Any man that has patience can do the unbelievable. Any man that has patience can actually do the unbelievable. So this is the reason why the Ghana Army General advised the Nigerian counterpart to tread on the path of patience in order for them to be able to actualize their dream. I told them, be very frank, speak your mind, but speak it patiently, not aggressively. Okay? So this is what I tell my Igbo brothers. be patient. The only way you can get what you want is when you decide to appreciate and get the unification of the southern Nigeria. Lieutenant Colonel Gowon invited the Nigerian leaders to say a joint thank you to their host and all said thank you in unison in response to Lieutenant General Accra's address. At this point, the general vacated the conference table. The general vacated the conference table. Then the meeting itself began. Why I'm doing this today is to explain to us what actually transpired in the meeting of 1967, January 1967, in Aburi, Ghana. So we get the fact before the public domain. That will help us to understand the history that have happened that we're not there, that we have been told every time. But today we have been able to get a clearer picture of what actually transpired in that meeting and where the problem was. Importation of arms and resolution renouncing the use of force. That's on that heading. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu spoke next. He said that the agenda was acceptable to him, subject to the comments he had made on some of the items. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu said that no useful purpose would be served by using the meeting as a cover for arms build up, and accused the federal military government of having engaged in large-scale arm deal by sending Major Apollo to negotiate for arms abroad. He alleged that the federal military government recently paid £1 million for some arms bought from Italy and now stored them up in Kaduna. So at this place, during the meeting, the Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu raised up his fear that the Nigerian military were already preparing for war against the southeastern state. That told them of the information that he has had over the purchase of arms, and the arms are being stored in Kaduna State. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu was reminded by the military governor North and other members that the East was indulging in an arm build-up, and that the plane carrying arms, which recently crashes on the Cameroonian border, was testing for Enugu. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu denied both allegations. So there was allegations and counter allegations from the military leaders who actually came in to have a peace talk. Concluding his remark on arms build-up, Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu proposed that if the meeting was to make any progress, all the members must, at the outset, adopt a resolution to renounce the use of force in the settlement of Nigerian dispute. So that was what Ojukwu proposed. That every one of them should agree that there will be no use of force in the dispute that is actually ravaging the nation as at that time. Lieutenant Colonel Gowon, who was the leader now of the Nigerian Nigerian military leaders that went to Aburi, explained that as a former chief of staff, army, he was aware of the deficiency in the country arms and ammunition, which needed replacement. Since the Defense Industry Corporation could not produce this, the only choice was to order from overseas. An order was accordingly placed to the tune of 3 to 4 million pounds. He said, to the best of his knowledge, the actual amount that had been paid out was only 80,000 pounds. As to why these arms were sent up to the north, Lieutenant Gowon referred to lack of storage facility in Lagos and reminded his military colleagues of the number of times arms and ammunition had been dumped in the sea. That was why he said it became necessary to use the better storage facility in Kaduna. Okay, so here they are just accusing each other. When you are trying to settle, issues, what do you do in settlement? There's always, accuse and counter accuse. Okay, accuse. It's always like that. Accuse, counter accuse, until you not get to the final, point. The arms and ammunition have not been distributed because they arrived only 2 weeks previously and have not yet been taken on charge. After exhaustive discussion to which all members contributed and during which Lieutenant Colonel Ejo then was the military administrator of the Midwest region. Take note of that. Lieutenant Colonel Ejo was the military administrator of the Midwest region. Pointed out that it would be necessary to determine what arms and ammunition had arrived and what each unit of the army had before any further distribution would take place. The Supreme Military Council unanimously adopted a declaration proposed by Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu that all members, 1, renounce the use of force as a means of settling the Nigerian crisis. So you see where I've been crying for negotiation. Even Ojukwu was doing this from the beginning. So guys needs to listen. These are the minutes that came out of the Aburi Accord. Okay? Reaffirm their faith in discussion and negotiation. Reaffirm their faith in discussions and negotiation as the only peaceful way of resolving the Nigerian crisis, and agree to exchange information on the quantity of arms and ammunition available in each unit of the army in each region and in the unallocated stores, and to share out such arms equitably to the various commands. Then agreed that there should be no more importation of arms and ammunition until normalcy was restored. This was good evening, ma. This was the demands of Ojukwu, which everybody agreed to. So in that demand, one that is actually interesting to me. Please share this video, please. Just share the video and give me some thumbs up. One thing that actually, adore me is the word or the use of the word negotiation. Negotiation. That has been my word, and that remains my word. The full text of the declaration was signed by all members. The Supreme Military Council, having acknowledged the fact that the series of disturbances since January 15, 1966 has caused disunity in the army, resulting in lack of discipline and loss of public confidence, turned their attention to the question of how best the army could be reorganized in order to restore that discipline and confidence. There was a lengthy discussion of the subject, and when the argument became involved, members retired into secret sessions. On their return, they announced that agreement had been reached by them on the reorganization, administration, and control of the army on the following lines. Okay, this was what happened on the lines. Army to be governed by the Supreme Military Council under the chairman to be known as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the head of the federal military government. Number 2, establishment of a military headquarters comprising equal representation from the regions and headed by a chief of staff. Number 3, creation of an area command corresponding to a existing region under the charge of area commandants. Number 4, matter policies including appointment, promotion to top executive posts in the armed force and in the police to be dealt with by the Supreme Military Council. Number 5, during the period of the military government, military governor will have control over area command for internal securities. Creation of a Lagos garrison, including in Ikeja barracks. So these are the agreements that they made. So we want to see where the mistake was made that led to the war. We must know what actually transpired that brought about the civil war, also known as the Biafra War. That is the essence why I'm reading out the text, the minute of that very particular meeting that was held in Aburi, Ghana. Okay, guys, if you know I'm doing a nice job, just give me some likes and share this video on your wall. In connection with the reorganization of the army, the council discussed the distribution of military personnel with particular reference to the present recruitment drive. The view was held that general recruitment throughout the country in the present situation would cause great imbalance in the distribution of soldiers. After a lengthy discussion of the subject, the council agreed to set up a military committee on which each region will be represented to prepare statistics which will show 1, present strength of Nigerian army, deficiency in each sector of each unit, the size appropriate for the country and each area command, additional recruitment for the country and each area command. The committee is to meet and report to council within 2 weeks from the date of receipt of instruction. The council agreed that pending completion of the exercise in paragraph 7, further recruitment of soldiers should cease. In respect of item 3B of the agenda, implementation of the agreement reached on August 6, 1966, it was agreed after a lengthy discussion that it was necessary for the agreement reached on August 9th by the delegates of the regional government to be fully implemented. In particular, it was accepted in principle. So these were all the things that were actually going on during the discussion. And to what I've seen all through, it has been going so smoothly, so well, as we ever think. Okay? In particular, it was accepted in principle that army personnel of northern region should return to the north from the west. It was therefore felt that a crash program of recruitment and training, the details of which would be further explained after the committee to look into the strength and distribution of army personnel had reported, would be necessary to constitute indigenous army personnel in the west to a majority there quickly. No recognition by the East of Lieutenant Colonel Gowon as Supreme Commandant. Okay? Because, the East did not recognize Gowon when he became the commandant. So they need to change that so that Gowon can be given the recognition as a commandant. The question of the non-recognition of the East by Lieutenant Colonel by the East of Lieutenant Colonel Gowon as Supreme Commandant and head of the federal military government was also exhaustively discussed. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu based his objection on the fact inter alia that no one can properly assume the position of a Supreme Commandant until the whereabouts of the former Supreme Commandant, Major General Aburi Accord, was known. Now, we all know that Aburi Accord was killed in the West when he went there on a visit. When the commandant, the governor of the Western region decided to die with him for respect. Okay? He therefore asked that the country be informed of the whereabouts of the Major General and added that, in his view, it was impossible in the present circumstances for any one person to assume any effective central command of the Nigerian Army. Lieutenant Colonel Ejo initiated 4 principles to guide the meeting in formulating an answer to the question of who should be the Supreme Commandant. These were the questions. 1, problem of effective leadership. 2, crisis of confidence in the army. 3, disruption in the present chain of command. And 4, inability of any soldier to serve effectively in any unit anywhere in the country. Lieutenant Colonel Gowon replied that he was quite prepared to make an announcement on the matter and regretted that a formal announcement has been delayed for so long, but the delay was originally intended to allow time for tempers to cool down. He reminded his colleagues that they already had the information in confidence. After further discussion and following his insistence, and following the insistence by Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu, that Lieutenant Colonel Gowon should inform members of what happened to the former Supreme Commandant. Member returned into secret session again and subsequently returned to continue with the meeting after having reached an agreement among themselves. At this point, the meeting adjourned until Thursday, January 5th, 1967. The power of the federal military government vis-a-vis the regional government. When the meeting resumed on January 5th, it proceeded to consider the form of government best suited for Nigeria. In the view of what the country had experienced in the past year, which is 1966, members agreed that the legislative and executive authority of the federal military government should remain in the Supreme Military Council, to which any decision affecting the whole country shall be referred for determination, provided that where it is not possible for a meeting to be held, the matter requiring determination must be referred to military governors for their comment and concurrence. Okay? Specifically, the council agreed that appointments to senior rank in the police, diplomatic, and the consular services, as well as appointment to super-scale posts in the federal civil service, and the equivalent posts in statutory corporation must be approved by the Supreme Military Council. The regional member felt that all the decrees or provisions of decrees passed since January 1st, 1966, and which detracted from the previous power and position of the general government should be repealed with mutual confidence is to be restored. After this issue had been discussed at some length, the council took the following decision. The council decided that 1, on the reorganization of the army to be governed by the Supreme Military Council under the chairmanship to be known as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and head of the federal military government. 2. Establishment of a military headquarters comprising equal representation from the region and headed by a chief of staff. 3. Creation of area command corresponding to existing region and under the charge of an area commander. 4. Public matter policy, including appointments and promotion to top executive posts in the armed force and the police to be dealt with by the Supreme Military Council. 5. During the period of military government will have control over area commanded for internal security. 6. Creation of a Lagos garrison, including Ikeja Barrack. On appointment to certain posts, the following appointment must be approved by Supreme Military Council. 1. Diplomatic and consular posts. 2. Senior posts in the armed force and the police. 3. Super scale federal civil service and federal corporation posts. On the functioning of the Supreme Military Council, any decision affecting the whole country must be determined by the Supreme Military Council. Where a meeting is not possible, such a matter must be referred to the military governor for comment and concurrence. That all the law officers of the Federation should meet in Benin on January 14th and list out all the decrees and provision of decrees concerned, so that they may be repealed not later than January 21st, if possible. That for at least the next 6 months, there should be purely a military government, having nothing to do with whatsoever with politicians. Soldiers involved in disturbance on January 15, 1966, and thereafter, members express views about the future of those who have been detained in connection with all the disturbances since January 15, 1966, and agreed that the fate of soldiers in detention should be determined not later than end of January 1967. Now, all this was to find a way out of the lockdown, which was created because of the war, or because of the coup that took place in January 15 and the one that took place in July the same year, 1966. Why am I trying to do this? Is to actually take us through what transpired in Nigeria at that time and why we should be careful of the decision we are about to take in this present time. Okay? The council next considered the question of the resumption of the ad hoc constitutional committee and the acceptance of that committee recommendation of September 1966. After some exchange of view, it was agreed that the ad hoc committee should resume sitting as soon as practicable to begin from where they left off, and that the question of accepting the unanimous recommendation of September 1966 be considered at a later meeting of the Supreme Military Council. The problems of displaced persons was also discussed. The council considered exhaustively the problem of displaced persons, with peculiar reference to their rehabilitation, employment, and property. The view was expressed and generally accepted that the federal government ought to take the lead in establishing a national body, which would be responsible for raising and making appeal for funds. Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu made the point, which was accepted by Lieutenant Colonel Castina, that in the present situation, the intermingling of Easterners and Northerners was not feasible. After each military governor had discussed this problem as they affect his area, the council agreed on rehabilitation that finance permanent secretaries should resume their meeting within 2 weeks and submit recommendation, and that each region should send 3 representatives to the meeting. 2, on the employment and recovery of property, that civil servants and corporation staff, including daily paid employees who have not been absorbed, should continue to be paid their full salary until March 31st, 1967, provided they have not got alternative employment, and that the military governor of the East, West, and Midwest should send representatives, police commissioners, to meet and discuss the problem of recovery of property left behind by displaced persons. Lieutenant Colonel Ejo disclosed that the employment situation in his region was so acute that he had no alternative but to ask non-Midwestern working the private sector in his region to quit and make room for Midwesterner repatriated from elsewhere. Lieutenant General Chukwu said that he fully appreciated the problem faced by both the military governor West and the military governor Midwest in this matter, and that if in his last resort either of them had to send the Easterner consigned back to the East, he would understand. But as much as the action would further complicate the resettlement problem in the East, he assured the council that his order that no Easterner should leave the Eastern region will be kept under constant review with a view of it being lifted as soon as practicable. Let me stop there and explain some certain things, guys. Now, you will understand based on all the things I've just read that the meeting was actually going on where there was a mutual agreement between Colonel Ojukwu, Colonel Gowon, Ejo, and Colonel Castina. These old guys were all of the same ranks in the Nigerian army as at the time of this Wahala. What I want to point out to the Southeasterner, like I said yesterday, you saw what they wrote right now, that there was problem of accommodation because of the relocation of citizens of each of these very particular regions. So if you decide to use a brutal force in actualizing your BIAFRA, you will have a repetition of this. Like I said yesterday, the Igbo people actually have more houses outside the East than any tribe in Nigeria. Actually, the Igbos and the Benin's actually the ones who love building houses outside their hometown. The Igbos and the Benin's. They're very quick to that. Even the Yoruba does not build outside their own town or their own area like the Igbos and the Benin's. But the Igbos even build more because anywhere an Igbo man is, that is his home. So if we decide to go in the way we are going and we are not agitating for by force break up of the nation called Nigeria, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to lose. A lot of our people are going to cry because when the war or any form of anarchy starts, these guys will have no choice than to relocate back to the East. Maybe all their life service is in the north or in the southwest. So why I've been crying for unity is this: when there is a unity between the entire southern state, we can sit down and have a discussion on the way to go, just the way they have now. I'm going to tell you why. If you permit me to, I'm going to tell you why after I'm done with this whole minute, where or why the mistake came that led to the Civil War of 1967. Okay? So we must always be patient. Patience is one thing that we need to actually absorb. You see, in anything, before you go to the length to fight, first and foremost, you must have a round table talk. That's what these guys just did. And that's what I'm expecting from us as the BIAFRAs. If you want to actually get that state that you so much desire to get, then you must get ready to have a negotiating mechanism on how you can be able to pass your message across to the people. Okay. On the question of future meetings of the Supreme Military Council, members agreed that future meetings will be held in Nigeria at a venue to be mutually agreed. On the question of government information media, the council agreed that all government information media should be restrained from making inflammatory statements and causing embarrassment to various governments in the federation. So you see, everything I'm talking about today was actually part of the things that was agreed upon in that meeting they had at Aburi. I wasn't there, wasn't born then, but I'm wise enough to understood the best way to go around this whole issue. Not the way we are doing it now. It's not going to work. Rather, it will only ignite more debt upon debt. There were other matters not on the agenda, which we also considered, among which were the form of government for Nigeria and the disruption of the country economy by the lack of movement of rail and road transport, which the regional governor agreed to look into. The meeting began and ended in a most cordial atmosphere, and members unanimously issued a second and final communique. In his closing remark, the chairman of the Ghana National Liberation Council expressed his pleasure at the successful outcome of the meeting and commended the decision taken to the Nigerian leader for their implementation. Lieutenant Colonel Gowon, on behalf of his colleagues, thanks the Ghanaian leader for the excellent part he had played in helping to resolve the issue. The successful outcome of the meeting was then toasted with champagne, and the Nigerians took leave of the Ghanaians. The proceedings of the meeting were reported verbatim for each region. This is where the problem came from. The proceedings of the meeting were reported verbatim for each regional government and the federal government by their respective official reporters. And tape recorded versions were distributed to each government. So the problem finally came in from the verbal utterances. So people understood the entire process in their own way. So you understood where the problem actually started from. Because if you speak to me, it's not written down. I'm going to answer you. I'm going to interpret the thing differently, believing to where and how I actually believe in it. Okay, that's the truth of the matter there. So I'm going to have it like that. That okay, this is where it is. This is where it is not is, and this is what was said. This is what was not said. Now you will see in this very particular meeting that they had, what was actually agreed in that meeting was, even despite of the military government, they agreed through federalism. If you play over again what I just read to you guys, in that meeting, what was agreed on was a true federalism, where each regions will have a take. You see what they said there? Each region should have like an army base, which will have chief of staff. And the federal government should have to take over the affair of the federation. That can also be called a federal unit or a confederal, depending on how it is being looked into. Like I said in my broadcast yesterday, the problem resulted from where the intellectual people were not carried along in that meeting. Ojukwu was more educated than Gowon in the fact of the matter, because Ojukwu was a London trained guy. He went to university in London. Gowon was a result of a quota system that brought Gowon into the military. And in that Aburi meeting, Ojukwu went there prepared. He actually knew what he was going for. Having seen what has happened to his people in the second coup that took place in Nigeria. But Gowon was just going there to create and cause unity among the people. So Ojukwu had a better bargaining mechanism than Gowon did. And what Ojukwu was bargaining, Ojukwu had already had a presumed mind of where his bargain was going to, based on what the kind of point Ojukwu was bringing up. Where Gowon was just there, trying to defend the unity of Nigeria. Ojukwu was already operating on a session of the federal unit. Read the communique again. You get it clearly that in all that Ojukwu was talking about in that very particular communique was all regional. Ojukwu was not actually having so much interest in the federal government. And I quite understood what happened. But we should not forget also that the January 15, 1966 coup was organized and executed by the Easterner without the support of any other region. So that was why when the North came, the North was more brutal than the Southeast coup. The Southeast coup only focused on the politicians at that time. But when the North took their own, they not only killed the military leader, they started going after every Easterner that is or that was in the Nigerian army as at that time. And also that also led to the killing of many Igbos in the North. We need to be frank. And there was now relocation of Igbos from the north to the southeast, even prior to this Aburi. That was what even led to the meeting that was now being held at Aburi in Ghana. Because the way Amana Nigeria was going, they know that if nothing better is not taken, Nigeria might end up existing to be a nation. Okay? Now, having said that, when Ojukwu was making his demands, he said, first of all, he talked about the weapons that was being stored in the north. That he decided to have, there should be an equal distribution of the weapons around the 4 regions that make up the nation as at that time. Talk about employment. He also talk about that the North people from the east should relocate back to their home country. And Colonel Ejo, who was in charge of the then Midwest region, also said he will have to stop the North Midwest region from working so that they can be able to have a place to put his own people who will be relocating from other regions back to their region. That was the beginning of the division. But the guys who were there were not seeing what they were doing. Like I said, Ojukwu was prepared, far more prepared than all of them put together. He already had an agenda of where he was going to. So all he needed to do was to play around and get what he wanted, which he actually get throughout the meeting. I know that sympathy might be one of the things that Ojukwu used in getting what he wanted in that meeting. And I know that because of the written event that went out of hand to the killing of his people in the north, who also have made the West, the Midwest, to have supported him in getting some of the things that he actually put on the table, so that peace and normalcy can restore back to the young country called Nigeria. But they weren't aware that because the guy was a London schooled guy, the command of English was not confusing those who were actually schooled within the sphere of the Nigerian state. Now, an agreement was not made that Gowon should go back and make a pronouncement based on what was agreed upon in Aburi. When Buhari returned back to Lagos, he met the then Commissioner of Finance, Federal Commissioner of Finance, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. I am quite sure that the tape of that meeting was played to Awolowo. Please share this video, guys. Give me some thumbs up, please. That meeting, the video or the audio recorded of that meeting was played to Awolowo. Awolowo, being an under London trained lawyer, decided to sit down and listen to the legal terms. Because in life, when anything that has to do with legality, English is not actually the way. There are points upon points that can be picked up either to defend or to attack. So when Chief Obafemi Awolowo listened to that tape, he was a little bit worried. Good evening, sir. was really a little bit worried over the agreement by Gowon and the team that went there to majority of the things that was said in that meeting. And the people are going to accuse Awolowo of not supporting the struggle for the dissolution of the state called Nigeria. I know many people are going to say that. But don't forget that Gowon was actually arrested and thrown into prison. And Gowon was, Awolowo was thrown into prison. And he was released by the government of Gowon. So he has some little respect for Gowon, who has given him his freedom back. So when he saw the agreement that Gowon and others have gone into because of their low educational background, he had to educate them on the dangers of what they have actually accepted. So I had to call Gowon and say, Gowon, look, do you know the consequences of what you just done? I'm very sure Gowon would have said, yeah, we did a very nice meeting. It was all cordial and everything went on well. I said, no, this meeting here just showed that you are going to be a ceremonial military head of state. You have no power. The power is going to reside in the governors, the military governors of each region. And the day you refuse to accept, how do we want to help our people at Timsa, TV, Edo TV? I've done a series of videos on that. I've called on the government, and the government is already working on that. That's the highest we can do. Like I just said a few days ago, there's no way you can help our people. Because those boys that were fighting few days ago, bros, those that were killing themselves, carrying ghosts around on social media space, this is the time. This is the time for them to actually come out and show that strength they displayed killing themselves. The government is doing their best. There's nothing I can say about that. Because the government of today, the way that the Nigerian government is today, like I said yesterday, is already lopsidedness. Okay? It was what is it called? It was lopsidedness already. And that alone has already created the problem that we are having in the Nigerian setting today. That is the reason why we are clamoring for unity of the South. So guys, when someone is trying to put to us where we are going, we must try to understand where we are actually going. We are crying about Fulani herdsmen. We can't do nothing until we are united as certain states. So every one of you, all you guys need to be clamoring for is the unification of the South. If until we are united, we can't do nothing. We can't do nothing. If you kill a Fulani man today, the police will come out and raid the entire street. Hope you know that. Why? Because there's no unity. I just told you yesterday or this morning that the National Northern Elders Forum went to River State and started talking nonsense. Thank God that today the Masob replied him. And they told him because of the issue that the Igbos had with Wike, that's why they did what they did. And that is the truth. If we can bridge that gap as the Southerners, I will not allow anybody to come in between us, no matter the differences. This old nonsense will end. But the more we begin to divide ourselves along ethnic lines or language coloration, we continually get what we are getting from the north. It is as simple as that, bros. You cannot pick up an Hausa man and arrest the Hausa man right now. Which station are you going to take him to? When the commissioner of police in Edo State is an Hausa man. Where most of the DPOs in Edo State is an Hausa man. Where the AIG in Edo State is an Hausa man. Where 70% of the policemen in your state is from the north. What are you going to do? That is the issue. The government of Edo State cannot even buy certain kind of guns for the vigilante without the approval of the police, which is an Hausa man, a Fulani man. So how are we going to help them? If by telling them we need to unite together as one. Edo is at the middle of both the east and the west and the north. If we have a unification between the Yorubas and the Benin people, the first thing they will do is the Yoruba will never allow an Hausa to drive from that side into Benin. That is the beginning of the problem. Nobody knows how they come into Benin. They just come into Benin Boa. But because there's no unity, nobody cares. That is my clamor. So if you guys can join me in this clamor, I can understand that we can't fight this fight until we are united. The reason you see all this I'm doing now is to be portray a point for unification. Apart from that, we can't do nothing. I will only be on social media here and shout from today to tomorrow, and Fulani men will still be doing their worst on the highway. That's what I'm doing now. I'll be doing that. Listen, guys, I'm the only guy doing that right now. I have the United Southern Nigerian Forum on Zoom, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 hours every Tuesday and Thursdays. So every week I spend 8 of my hours on Zoom meetings with people under the Edo Diaspora Organization. Every Tuesday and Thursdays, 4 hours on Tuesdays, 4 hours on Thursdays, every week. There was a week I did Monday to Saturday every day, 4 hours every day. When we started the meeting. That's what I'm saying, Osas. Until we unite, we can't do nothing. The Hausas are crying in the north against the Fulanis coming from Niger. The Kanoris are crying in the north against the Fulanis coming from Niger. The Middle Belt are crying in the north against the same Fulanis coming from Niger. It's only unity that can solve it, bros. Nothing more. Nothing. Nothing. Do you know that Enugu State has border with Benue? Do you know that Enugu State has border with Benue? Go check the map. Enugu State has border with Benue. So if the Enugu State government decide to block all their entrances from Benue, that nobody should carry their cow without permission into Enugu, it will reduce the killing in the east. I'm being frank to you, my brother. Just like Kogi State now in the north of Edo State, Kogi are bounded with those local government, those Auchi and all those areas. Kogi are bounded with them. If they will say no northerner can pass here without certain permission, if possible, put what's it called? A toll gate there. That everybody is coming must be scrutinized. Block all our loophole borders. We will solve this problem. But because there is no unity in the south, We are doing it alone. Edo State do its own. Delta State do its own. That's the issue, bros. We can go nowhere. Say take who? Etiosa, we are saying the same thing now. You say I should take Unadikane away from unity. That's what we're talking about now. If Unadikane is preaching disunity, like you claim now, how can we now fight against Fulani herdsmen from Edo State alone? We can't do nothing, brother. We shouldn't deceive ourselves. Do you know? Do you know the bros? Do you know that the secretary of Afenifere, Yinka, said one day that one of their members was attacked by Fulani herdsmen, and the man ran and succeeded in running and went to a police station. They refused to take his statement. He said he went to 3 or 4 police stations. None of them refused. None of them refused to accept his statement. He said the last police told him that I will advise you, no policeman will treat this case because these people are special. Until all of us unite together, we can do nothing. That's why most of the time you see me, I'm always on the IPOB members to understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going. That the only way we can be able to win this fight is when we forget the past and focus on the future. So that we can be able to put our hands together and fight this monster. These guys killing us today are not from Nigeria. They are from Niger. They speak French. They are from Gabon, Futajelon, in Gabon. They speak French. Let me shock you a little bit, guys. Do you know in Rwanda? You know the war, that genocide in Rwanda was actually ignited by the Fulanis in Rwanda. The Fulanis have no land. The Fulani, they have no land. So all they do is to intimidate you into submission. That's what they are doing to the South now. They are operating the divide and rule system. They understand these techniques. The day that we unite in the South, that is the end. That will be the end of these people. When they were killing people in Rwanda, guys, when they were killing people in Rwanda, it got to a point, this very president now that is dead now, the Rwanda president that is dead now, was one of the armed force, the militants, the head of the militants. They decided to put their differences together and the tribe united together and they won the battle. Do you know how many cities they have gone to? They were in Ivory Coast. The same thing, they united together against them and chased them away. They were in Togo. The same thing, unity chased them away. They went to Ghana a few years ago. They were also killing Ghana. When the Ghanaians, the main Ghanaians came together and chased them, not just away, chased them from their bushes. Chased them from their bushes. If I Eze, the IPOB does not have the spirit to fight anybody, my brother. They are just talking. Talking doesn't change anything. Talking doesn't change, bros. The only way you can defeat this people is when we unite. The Igbos can't do it alone. The Yorubas can't do it alone. The Middle Belt can't do it alone. The Niger Delta can't do it alone. We all must unify. We must agree to be able to defeat this monster. Everywhere I've read about the history of the Fulanese, the only way you defeat them is when there is unity among the people that owns the land. If not, they will force you to submission. Fulanese is about 7 million in Nigeria, in the north. About 7 million Fulanese that controls about 100 million Hausas and Kanaris. 7 million Fulani controls about 100 million Hausas and Kanaris. Brother. Can you imagine that? Only because you know why? They are very good at oppressing you, intimidating you. They operate with fear. That's their hallmark. That's their hallmark. The hallmark is they put fear in you. They add this intimidating tendency. They are being trained. So when they put the fear in you, if you are afraid, they win. But if you resist them, you succeed. But how can you resist a system whereby the people who are involved are not united in taking a decision? For example, the Imo State governor, this idiot, Uzodima, came and opened his border for Fulanese, which Emeka Idioha closed up. All because he wanted to patronize their spiritual leader, Buhari. Oh, the Enugu State governor, that there have been successive killing in his own state, and he has said nothing. That's my problem. Our leaders said nothing. They're scared of losing their throne, which is the offices. So they value their office more than they value you and I. So what more can we do? I will not result in harm taking. Because this boy lives in the bush. They can easily strike and return back to their base in the bush. That's why they come in, they kill women and children. They cannot engage the men. They are not as strong as we think. But what they do is they put fear in you. They demoralize you. They make you incapacitated emotionally. Then they struck. That's what they did to Benue State. Until the Benues wake up one day. And there was another group of Benue guys who were also of the same way. That eventually reduced the killing you see today in Plateau, in Benue, and other areas, Nasarawa and Co. That it has not reduced down. This is the same thing we are expecting our leaders in the South to do, but they're not doing that. Let me go and pick up a gun tomorrow. The government of Ethiopia will be the first to arrest me and hand me over to the Fulani commissioner, who will not transfer me to Abuja and hand me to another Fulani IPO, who will just kill me because I killed a Fulani man who came to rape my own sister or my own wife or my own family. So when you see me crying for unity, if those idiots who are leaders refuse to unite, the followers, we the owner of the nation today needs to come together. Let's bridge the gap and force those idiots called leaders out of the offices. That's the only way, guy. I don't believe in armed struggle. I don't believe in it. I'm not an advocate of armed struggle. I'm not an advocate of armed struggle. I'm not. If I am the governor today, for example, of Edo State, I will make a decree that every cow and owner of cows in Edo State must bear a mark, which must be gotten from the ministry. I will create a ministry for animals. Immediately I come to power. If you don't have that number, I catch you on your cow on the street, I will put you in prison. The cows will be sold out as option to people. I will do that immediately. That's what I'm going to do. And if listen, do you know during the time of Fayoshe of Ekiti State, the rate at which the Fulani Edmen were misbehaving reduced drastically in Ekiti? Because the guy came up with a Dracula law. If I catch you after 6 p.m. in the evening, that you are still roaming around, we will seize your cows. We will kill it. The people will eat it. This is the area you must grade your cows. If you go out of that area to any other area, what do you see you get? And he handed over guns to the hunters and other people that they were trained to go into the forests and make sure that these people comply. And they actually did comply. Unity is the answer. Nothing more. You know that right there, if you are from Edo State, you know that today Edo State is not united. The last election has divided Edo State into two up to now. Those people who felt they were of APC are still in the APC. They have refused to accept the reality on ground as I speak to you. They have refused to accept. What they do today, I'm using this as an example, what they do today, that any problem that emanated from anywhere in Edo State is not being used against the government of the day as an opposition, which in every government that I've worked on, security matters. Security matter is not used as political points. Security matters is not to be used for political points. When there is security matters, everybody must put political affiliation aside and say the truth. But this is what we've not gotten today. That is the issue. That is the issue. I spoke to some Hausa people. They are not happy the way and manner they are being treated in their own land. These Hausa people knows, they understand. They knew when Usman Dafodo came. But because of fear of them not being killed, they perpetually kept quiet, drinking the bitter tongues of oppression under the heavy weight of the Fulani Caliphate. We must still accept the truth, brother. That's what I'm telling you. There is nothing you can do until you unite together. And all this idea of We cannot unite. Are all plans by the same people to continually disunite us in order for them to have their way. In order for them to have their way. Bros, Emmanuel Osas, let me tell you, civil war will not come to Nigeria. I promise you, civil war will not come to Nigeria. Go mark it. It will not come to Nigeria. Do you know why? The only way you can get civil war is when we decide to unite. And Igbo man is not ready to fight war. Ask anybody. And Igbo man is not ready to champion any war. Because they have experienced what war is all about. They lost millions and millions of properties during that time. Billions of properties. In pounds, then. They will not want to do that. The Edoman, which is the Midwest region, having seen what war looked like, having been part and parcel of war, we not want to express such a thing. The same thing with the West. The only way we can have a Nigeria that is working is when the South put their ethnic differences aside and unite together for one common purpose, for the liberation of the soul of Nigeria from these people called the Fulanis, who are not even from Nigeria. They are from Senegal, they are from Gabon, from Futajelos, and others. So these are facts I'm giving you today. Bro, if I say, let me tell you something. When I said the Igbos, for you to fight a war, you need a money bag. For you to fight a war, you need a money bag. Do you know why the war of 1967 to 1970 worked for the East? Because the then leader of the Eastern region, Ojukwu, has so much money that he inherited from his father. So he had this plan. He had it in his hands. You need money to fight war. War is not just picking up arms. You must plan on how to go about it. So, but when you are united, it is easy for you to fight your common enemy. Not with a divided house. So the government still have the upper hand. Security of every those citizen is the responsibility of the governor. Abasi, that is true, but it's on paper. The workings of today, Nigeria, is that the commissioner of police is appointed by the IG, approved by the president. Number one. Number two, the commandant of the army, the navy, and the air force in each state is appointed by their respective heads, approved by the president. Number three, when the state government gives them directives, they do not take such directives until there is an approval from the headquarters in Abuja. Number four, the entire police structure today is controlled. No, the entire security and military apparatus in Nigeria today is controlled by the Fulanis. So it becomes completely impossible for any governor to do anything. Even Erofai made a statement on Channel television that the governors are helpless in this present day constitution that is binding the state together. That the governors, they are helpless. The only way that we can force this government to do something, I repeat it again, is when the South are united. Why do you think today they are fighting against NSAS? Do you know on the 7th of this month, on Monday, yeah, they brought out armored cars to Lekki Tollgate. They brought out big different ammunitions all over the state, all over the federation, to stop the gathering of the Southern Nigerians. Because they know anything unity, it would destroy everything. Yes, Emmanuel, that's the reason why I don't want Nigeria restructured. Because if Nigeria is restructured, they are gone. They are gone. But we can make them, we can force them for us to restructure if we unite. Do you think if the South is the same, that idiot called Professor Ango Abdullahi will come to the South and start studying the Igbos? Do you think that is going to happen? Let any Indibo man, or let any Afro man, or any man from Niger Delta goes to the north and repeat the same thing that this man repeat. Let me go there and repeat that same stupid word that came out of his mouth, and see if they will not set fire on his head in the north. Or maybe 10 Southerners would have been killed by just uttering that statement at all. But even in the presence of our leaders, our governors, our representatives, our elders, they kept quiet, smiling. Because at the end of the day, maybe they give all of them envelope. Say, we are coming to insult people. Say, when I call them, when you give me money. They said we value money so much that we can easily sell our mother for money. Don't you know the South, they teach people children and sell? You don't say unless they sell people children. I mean, let's start them with the Dubri Twine hall, as you say, tomorrow, not day. Everywhere you go, where not the body, they don't remove the tongue, don't remove the breast, don't remove private parts. Because we love money so much that we can sell even our mothers, our wives, for money. How many Northerners have come to the South to beg for presidency since you grown up? Since 1999 that we have this republic, that most of you are now adults. How many Northerners had come down to the South to beg for presidency? How many of them? How many? Now they gave the South presidency now. We are fighting anyhow. The South wants to be president. The Southeast wants to be president. The South wants to be president. There is no unification, no decision to get the best. They are now waiting for the North to decide for them who among them will become the next president of Nigeria. Is that not shameful? People will say they are uneducated. They control you. Abeg. When Jonathan was there, who insulted Jonathan more? When Jonathan was there, who had put that insulted Jonathan more? Who? When Jonathan was there, who had put that insulted Jonathan more? Is the South. Today, who are the people that support Buhari more? Who are the people that support Buhari more today with his collateral failure. Who are the people? The South. Bros, what are you people telling me now? Eh? What are you guys telling me? The problem of the South is the greediness of the South. Nothing more. The Southern, we are too egoistic in nature. We are too greedy. We feel that we know so much. That's why we have a problem. Goodluck Jonathan was trying to do something that would change things. It was bad. It was poor. But he had a plan. He said, if I win second, I'm going to do this. But the first person that bat Goodluck Jonathan in us was his own time brother, Amechi. Today, Amechi is not saying anything about Buhari. Nothing. So what are we talking about, guys? So what are we talking about? So, guys, the Aburi Accord is just a thing that we all need to start understanding, that the reason why the Aburi Accord failed is because of the non-unity in the southern Nigeria. They use us against us. It's very difficult for you to use a northerner against a northerner. Very, very difficult. It cannot be possible. Very difficult for you to use a northerner against a northerner. Do you think if the killing of that 110 rice farmers in Borno happened in the south under any certain president like Goodluck Jonathan or Obasanjo, do you think the thing would die the way it dies now? Nobody talk about it again. Where people will be killed in your state, you summon the president to appear, he refused to appear, and you people wave it off. Do you think it was Goodluck Jonathan that was summoned to appear that he know will keep quiet? Come on, guys. Do you think it was Jonathan that this thing happened and the what is it called? The Senate or the House of Rep summoned him to appear before them and he refused to appear? That this thing will go like that? The entire social media space would have been on fire from the north. We don't speak for ourselves. We are so greedy, so self-centered. All we think is about me, no one else. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's what we are where we are today. We are ready to destroy the house that we built by ourselves, just because I have hatred for you. The South is ready to destroy anything just to make sure that you don't get there. So, bros, that is the only way out. The Aburi Accord failed because of lack of unity among the Southern Nigerians at that time. There was no communication. We should not make the mistake again. We're going to be the loser. We don't want to start a war that we will not win. Let us strategize and face these people as united front politically, and we'll defeat them. We are more intelligent, we are more anticipated, we are more educated than these people. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning for early morning show.